Hello, Keith Keller, Melbourne, Australia. It's Tuesday. It's November. It's freezing. It's supposed to be autumn. No, spring. It's supposed to be spring. Autumn in the US, or as fall as you call it. And I'm a little bit confused. The weather's really sort of very unpleasant. Anyway, that's not why I'm talking today. Today, what I'm talking about is a new idea that I'm starting to kick around, and that is Substack the thing to watch in 2026. So what I'm doing today is I'm sending this file to YouTube and to Substack. Hopefully, I haven't worked out if that's working yet, but let's just see if that is working. Substack is the new kid on the block for me, and I just want to see if it's working. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song. We don't have any of my buddies here yet, so I'll just go and send this to a few friends. I've got a bit of a theme song going for this, and that is that Substack is not LinkedIn, but I'm all in. And we'll have a bit of a detailed discussion about this over the next few days and weeks, because there's a bit of shit going down. So I'll tell you about that in a minute.
It's not a new LinkedIn, but I'm still in, building my world with a newsletter grin. No viral spin, just truth within, owning my list like I'm born to win. I used to chase the algorithms game, scrolling through the noise just to stake my name. Endorsements, buzzwords, suit and tie clothes, shit all felt the same. Then I found a space where the words run deep, where the inbox opens and the real ones speak. No likes, no cloud, just a loyal crowd. Now I'm writing loud and I'm feeling proud. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in, building my world with a newsletter grin. No viral spin, just truth within, owning my list like I'm born to win. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in, long form love, let the stories begin. No clickbait sin, just soul and skin. Substacks, where the real ones live. They said bring your playbook, play the part, but I'm not here to network, I'm here for art. No humble brags or corporate flair, just me and my thoughts laid out bare. I still show up where the suits all go, but I save my fire for the ones who know that depth is rare in a world so loud. But I found my voice and I found my crowd. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in, crafting my lane with a fountain pen. No growth hacks, just discipline. I'm not a brand, I'm a citizen. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. No elevator pitch, just where I've been. From post to kin, we build and spin. Substacks, where the real ones live. Real ones live. They knows like sparks, not just for show. No chasing trends, just letting go. Discovery's fine, but loyalty's gold. I'm not for sale, I'm here to hold. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in, writing my truth from deep within. No filters thin, no polished grin, just real talk, let the trust begin. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in, a rebel feed with a writer's spin. No algorithm can box me in. Substacks, where the real ones live. Yeah, real ones live.
Hello. Okay, so there's a couple of listeners here, and Americo's here, and Tanya's here. Tanya. Hello. What we're doing today, I'm actually trying something completely different. I'm going to build this over the next half hour. I'm not going to let you in on too big a secret yet because there's a lot of bullshit going down, and I'm completely changing the model. But I'll leak that out as we go. So the basic idea is that today I'm experimenting with sending the file to Substack and to YouTube. And by default, I'm missing a few elements. Can you guess what they are? Right. So I am experimenting with not sending my files to LinkedIn. Right? I'm just going to try it, see how many people turn up. And the reason why is that I have been suspended twice in 1 week. And I still don't know why it is. I don't know what it is. I think I know what it is. I want to actually have a bit of a chat about that with people who might be experiencing it. But at any rate, what we're noticing is that the engagement on LinkedIn is almost zero. And it's very, 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 very difficult to get people to turn up to your shows on LinkedIn. So I'm just going to have a bit of fun. I'm sending the file to YouTube and to Substack. We've got 3 people here on Substack, and hello, welcome. Jump in if you want to speak. I'll send you the link to my show here now. We can have up to 8 people online at the same time. It's very, very cool. Up to 8 people, and obviously unlimited listeners. And the way that this will work now is that this show will go live on Substack and then go away. And then we will have the replay on YouTube. And I think that's the format I'm now going to use. I think that's the format I will start to play with. I don't have an aversion to using LinkedIn, but I just keep getting restricted. And I'm getting a bit sick of it. And I no one can give me an answer as to what I'm doing wrong. So I'm just a bit sick of that. And so I've decided I'm going to find a few other solutions. I really like Substack, and I'm leaning into it. I don't exactly know what I'm doing, to be honest, but that's okay. We got to learn these things as we go. The great thing about this is if I don't like what's going on here, I'm just going to delete it. And so only the people that are here immediately in this sort of window of time will hear this, unless it's really, really good and I decide to keep it. But I probably won't. I don't know yet. But we're just having a bit of fun. I've had enormous issues with LinkedIn, and I got to be honest, I'm getting a bit sick of it. And so I'm looking at solutions. I think I know what they think I'm doing wrong. I'm not sure I believe I'm doing anything wrong, but I think they think I am, and that's okay. If they, you got to play by the rules, I guess. But they are rules, and so I want to be able to actually do a show and know that it'll go. So last night I was restricted on LinkedIn for no apparent reason, and I've got a big show next week, and 150 people have registered to come. Right, so I'm not that excited about being restricted and not allowing that show to happen. So I'm playing around with the idea. Right now, I know I'm rambling now, but this is a fairly unstructured show and a response to the idea that we have, I've been restricted halfway through, and I've had to make it up. So I've written a couple of songs about this using Suno, and one of them is LinkedIn feels like homework, which it does. It's a really boring site. And now they don't like me either. So I'm going to play this one and then get a few of my buddies to come in and see if they want to add some weight to this discussion.
LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test, smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. I wake up, pour my coffee slow. Scroll through posts that say just go for growth. Everyone's climbing, shining, aligning, and I'm here still refining my bio line. I try to sound inspired, but it's tough. Who knew self-branding could be this rough? LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning live into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Congrats on your new romance. Type that loud with my own two hands. I'm happy for you, I swear it's true. Just wish I knew what I'm supposed to do. The feed says hustle, the feed says rest. No one agrees, but I'm still stressed. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending work. Every post feels like a test. Smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Maybe I'll rewrite my soul's resume. Add still figuring it out on the work experience today. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Yeah. LinkedIn feels like homework. LinkedIn sure feels like homework.
Okay, there we are. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. So it doesn't look like there's anyone here, and that's okay. I'll just work you through what we're doing. Substack now has this really amazing feature where you can have your live streams there. Now, this is pretty new and not everyone has this feature, but it's not hard to do if you do have it. And I'll get some people up on stage and we'll talk about this in a bit of a time. So this is what this show's about. If no one turns up in the next 10 minutes, I'll just stop and do another one in half an hour. But and I'll just delete it. So if you do have any questions and you are listening, please comment because I need to know there's someone watching. Otherwise, it's a bit of a waste of time. We are indeed multi-streaming to several places at once, but not LinkedIn, just for a bit of fun to try and see if it'll work. It is working. It's pretty cool. We got 3 people there on stage or in the audience. I can see that there's 3 people. I don't know who you are, but I can see that it's there. So Substack is working and YouTube is working. Now I can just simply delete the YouTube version or save it to a playlist, which is what I'll actually do. So I do have a second version of that song. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes because I do want to talk about this. I've got a second sort of rockier version of LinkedIn, and I can imagine this is sort of like the Saturday night pub version where we're all a little bit drunk and just venting, which I definitely relate to. So let's just see what this feels like for you and see if anyone comes.
LinkedIn feel like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feel like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. I wake up, pour my coffee slow. Scroll through posts that say just go for growth. Everyone's climbing, shining, aligning, and I'm still refining my bio line. I try to sound inspired, but it's tough. Who knew self-branding could be this rough? LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Congrats on your new romance. Tried to lie with my own two hands. I'm happy for you, I swear it's true. Just wish I knew what I'm supposed to do. The feed says hustle, the feed says rest. No one agrees, but I'm still stressed. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Maybe I'll rewrite my soul's resume and still figuring it out under work experience today. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework.
LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Man, that is so. Isn't it such a? I mean, remember, mate, we write these songs as we go, and I got a bit of a rhythm going. I actually create the lyrics with perplexity, and I just say something like, "Can you write a song called LinkedIn Feels Like Homework?" And then it writes a version, and I think look at it. I might do a bit of a dub, download it, have a cup of tea, maybe change the words, and then I throw it into Suno, right? And it's just a miracle. So, mate, we've got a lot to cover today because there's been quite a few changes. I am all in on Substack. Like I am 110% all in because a couple of things have happened. But what I'd love to hear is, what did it feel like when you went to YouTube and then back to Substack as a consumer? How did that feel?
So what are you looking for in terms of the user experience? I can tell you they both run on different lag times.
Lag times. Tell me about that.
So when I jumped into the Substack, I picked up wherever the feed was or however the feed was transmitting. Yet when I jumped into YouTube, it seems that YouTube is running a few seconds behind. I went back in time for about 5 seconds.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So Substack is a little cleaner, a little bit less lag, a little bit. And YouTube has quite a lot of lag, about 5 seconds.
Yeah. So it's definitely cleaner than what we're used to. And I think a lot of that has to do with sometimes it's bandwidth, sometimes it is the platform itself, which has a built-in buffering of however many seconds they set so that they can, or their infrastructure can digest what we're saying and maybe stop us from using profanity or copyright infringement. So I think it's part of the reasons. Like, I'm not that technically savvy to tell you that's the only reason, but I'm sure
you may be interested to know that in the radio industry, not that that really applies to me anymore, we have what's called a 7-second delay. And that's in case someone comes on the call and go, "Oh yeah, my God," kill, and we have a kill switch, right? So you've got a 7-second delay to say, hang on, I don't think we should put that on. And you can kill it, and it kills the last 7 seconds, and then you just go to an ad or a song, or just feign technical incompetence and and then you sort of stop. And I think that that's been a sort of an industry standard. So I think probably 7-second delay is a thing. So maybe that would be the default, just to make sure that everything's running smoothly, because people could come on and say anything, couldn't they?
That's right. Yeah. And I know I've had members of our community who have co-hosted or guest spoken on shows, and they ask the questions like, aren't you worried when you bring someone up on stage that you can't control what they're about to say? Well, you got to put a little bit of trust in those who put their hands up to want to speak about the subject matter that they're here for. And there's always the option to mute them or kick them off stage. It's harsh, but it is a safety net that is built into each studio to help producers and creators overcome or troubleshoot those possible instances that people come on and heckle you or try to change the agenda.
Yeah, look, I think this is actually a very important discussion to have. So we're actually actively now talking about the lag difference between Substack and YouTube. Substack seems a little cleaner, a little less lag, which is fine. And YouTube has a little longer lag, maybe a bit more traditional, more towards the 7 seconds. And this is completely fine, because if someone comes on and just starts ranting, we have a lot of control on the switchboard. Like, we have a lot of control. We can just say, hang on, I'm not having that. And what I'd love to talk about, and this is a very good example of what we do, is we have been doing this a long time. So we know where the buttons are. And so I'm not worried if someone comes up and starts swearing, because I can just kill their mic. But if you don't know where that button is, that's terrifying, isn't it? And this is part of what we talk about, what part of what we teach, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, often I guess quoted saying, stop overthinking going live. But these are some of the things that people overthink. Like, well, what if someone says something that they shouldn't? Or what if something happens that shouldn't be happening? And that's the beauty of live. It's how you respond, how you get back in the right lane, and how you react and respond. That is where the gold lies when it comes to building social authority, gaining visibility, and building trust. If you can demonstrate on a hot mic that you're not a hot mess when something goes wrong,
a hot mess on a hot mic,
right? You've earned that right for people to want to trust you because of how you handle it.
This is extremely important. If you are into what you do, you should have no fear of talking about it off the cuff. I've interviewed thousands of people, and people sometimes read a cheat sheet and I go, hang on, let's go off script. Oh man, I'm not doing that. I mean, I practiced this last night. I read this out to my wife. It goes exactly 17 minutes. Yeah, well, what about if we just riff on it? No, I'm not doing that. I might sound stupid. Well, if you knew what you were talking about, you would be able to riff on it without any preparation, because, and this is my opinion, like, if you know what you're talking about, you should just be able to go. Now, I'm not going to put everyone in that position, but I've had terrible interviews where people just read out something they prepared the night before, and like, I felt like killing the switch because it was a terrible interview. It was really boring, like really boring. And you teach this, and how is that going? I know you've got a couple of irons in the fire. How's that community idea going?
Well, it's going, and it's funny that you asked that, because moments before you went live, one of Gary V's posts came across my feed that it was a Monday reminder that good things take time, and you gotta give it time. And I jumped in the comments and shared. I'm going to paraphrase here so that I don't read it verbatim. You have two options. You either take the time to do things right, or you make the time to do things over.
Oh wow, I love that.
It's not negotiable. So to answer your question, how are things going? I appreciate the fact that good things take time. There are, people are asking questions and people are curious, but they're just not there yet.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
fine.
I met someone really lovely who lives in Niagara.
Yes.
And so she works in the field of retreats, and I'm guessing there'd be a lot of them up there. So she works. What she does is pretty cool. She drives around all these retreats and then writes articles about the lovely services they have. And I said to her, and I'd really love you to interview her. I said about 25% of people love to read about what's going on. We know this. About 25%. People who love to read and love to write are a bit horrified that number's a bit low, but that is the current 2025 paradigm. That only 25% of people, I mean, I don't read. Don't ask me to read. I hate reading. So I know this for sure. I know there's people that don't like to read, but 25% of people do like to read. So what this really brand new person that I've met said was that's what I do. I go and write about these really cool retreat centers, and people like to read about them. And when you read about them, you've got the opportunity to put in a picture, possibly a video. But what I said to her about what we're doing, I says, about 25% of people in the 2025 like to hear you talking about what you do, because what you just said, like now that you've heard that I'm doing this, you can hear my voice. You can hear that I'm into it. You can hear that I've written a song on Suno to sort of get the point across, and we're having fun with it. And maybe it's silly. I don't know. But the point is that you can hear that I'm real. You can hear that I'm the real deal. And I think that this is the new paradigm for promotion now, because I'm guessing you could get stuff copywritten, and it is a good system. It is a good system. 25% of people like to read. It's good for Google or for SEO, if indeed that's still a thing. But imagine if you jumped in the car and took all your gear up to Niagara, the Niagara area, and you interviewed my friend at a cafe, and she told you all about her really cool retreat, which is in the Niagara area, and there's forests and there's deer and there's a lake and you can do everything, right? I mean, it's just a different dimension, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I know you sent over her profile, and I'm going to reach out to her. And listen, I'm excited about this. I actually tested the waters this week with a poll, which I know some people are doing it on different platforms, and I just put some feelers out there. And I know a lot of people are now sitting on the fence and questioning their LinkedIn strategy. But the poll question I put out is centered around live selling. Like, you and I are advocates of going live, and we see the value that our voice and our real-time presence brings to community. Now, I would lean into this from a social selling perspective. I wouldn't encourage anyone to turn their lives into a shopping network type of production. But here lies an opportunity for people to share their value proposition and answer questions in real time. And whether it's for lead generation, whether it's just for educating, it's an opportunity to put content together in real time. And I can't stress the importance about real time. And then there's what you do with it afterwards. And I know that you built a 12-week campaign around repurposing, and we're probably going to hear more about this in the coming weeks. But I'm all in, just like your song. I'm all in to live, because that's where everything should, in my humble opinion, should be centered around. Your content should be designed to build the hype, raise awareness, to bring people to a live conversation, exchange that value, whether it's through Q&A, whether it's through educating your audience and your community, and then summarize it by repurposing, bringing those live conversations, the social proof that was created during those live conversations, and redistributing those, whether it's through a newsletter, whether it's through a blog, an email blast. There's just so much that people are missing in terms of opportunity.
I love this. I love this. Like, I am an extrovert, which means that I get my energy from other people. I mean, I could sit in front of a screen and say, look, I probably should write a blog post. I probably should, you know. Let me see. What am I going to write about? And then I stare at a screen. I might go for a walk. I might grab a cup of coffee. I might mow the lawn. I might do a load of washing. And I'm thinking, still haven't thought of that blog post. But then I have a conversation with someone and bang, the light goes off. I'm into it. I'm off and running because we're something triggers. That's how I get my energy. I would get my energy from people. And so I'm not really a blogger. Not really into blogging because I love to bounce off. Like we will create a theme song today from this episode. You know, like whether it's LinkedIn feels like homework or it's not LinkedIn, but I'm all in. Or, you know, we'll come up with the tagline and then I'll go and work some magic and then I'll create a song. But that came about because we chatted. I didn't just sit here and stare at the screen and go, look, I really should write a song today. Because that's not how my brain works. So there's about 25% of people that bounce off each other in this format. And so not everyone will, but there's a big chunk of people that say, hey, there's that Aussie guy. He's on the other side of the world. It's like they call it Down Under for a reason because it's like the opposite end of the world. And he's funny and he talks about this stuff that I don't think about. And I like listening to his thing. And then they come on the show and then they give their perspective and they feel part of the community. It's not passive. Like, that's why I love it. It's not passive. We can have up to 8 people on stage on this format. And if people want to come, I'm very happy to have them. Just let me know. You're very welcome to join. And we've had the Brady Bunch look where we have the little image in the middle and 8 faces and everyone gets a turn. I love this. I'm addicted to this format. I could do it for, as you know, I've done it for 6 hours. I just sit in the chair or just keep going. There's no limit, is there?
No, there's no limit. And I think once people try it, the dopamine, if that's what you're chasing, the dopamine you get from having someone ask you a question in real time and someone joining and sharing your stage in real time, there's nothing that can replace that. There's no post, no comment that can replace that. And you get addicted to it and you start to realize, oh my goodness, why haven't I done this sooner? And that was me around this time last year. You know, those who have been following me have heard me refer to myself as the keyboard warrior. I was just doing what everyone else was doing. I was putting in my time, punching in the clock, loading up my content and distributing it across social channels, and to no avail. Some would hit and get some engagement, some not so good and get very little to no engagement. And you start questioning, it's like, well, what's everyone talking about? You know, this content strategy that everyone refers to. And
everyone talks about writing and emailing and, you know, these things that appear to be from another century for me.
And listen, it's,
yeah,
when you compare, and you know, I did some research some time ago, and I think the numbers have changed when I looked at this last week, but still, they're still far ahead when you compare live streaming, whether it's webinars, live events, call it what you want. If you want to pool it in, anything that's live, when you compare it to any other style or format of content, it performs better in terms of engagement, in terms of dwell time, 7-1. And the first time we did this, the research or the data that came back was 10-1, but 7-1 is still a decent number.
It's very, very important. And what I'm really interested in is how you're approaching Substack. I've got this really cool story to tell about this because, and I'll set the tone here. The reason I love Substack, off the charts, love it, is the stats are really good. So I can do a post with words and just post it out. And I think, look, I reckon that was pretty good. And then you come back the next day and 50 people saw it. Well, that's all right. 50 people. That's 50 people that saw it. You don't know who they are, but 50 people saw it, and that's pretty good. Tick. Then you might do another post based on pure inspiration, and you wake up the next day and 175 people saw it. And you say, oh, maybe we're onto something there. That's almost 4 times as many people like that one. And this is what happened today. I did this show. I did this post last night, which I thought was going to be a killer, called How to Use Substack as Your Backup Network. I had this little picture of a USB stick because, for some reason, I just keep getting suspended by LinkedIn. There's a couple of reasons for this. I will talk about this in a minute because I got some theories about this, but I just keep getting suspended. Last night, I got suspended again for a week. And I don't technically get my account back until the 16th of November. I worked on this hack. I think I got it back. But I thought, what's going on? Why is this happening? So then I thought, okay, I'm going to write a post. How to use Substack as your backup network. And I just knocked it out quick. It's not very good. And 40 people saw it. I thought, oh, well, that's all right. I would have thought that it'd go better than that. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to write this post. Is Substack the one to watch in 2026? And it had 180 views overnight. Now, it took me the same amount of effort and a similar inspiration process, but some things stick and some things don't, and we don't know why. But Substack gives you very, very, very robust stats as to why that happens, what is happening. So today I was going to do a show about this backup idea. I had it all ready, had the graphic ready, and I spent so much time getting this really cool graphic together, and I was so proud. But no one watched this. No one read the article. And I'm thinking, well, maybe it's not that popular. Then when I did this one, same amount of effort. And I'm just wondering, have you had a similar sort of arrangement with your Substack? Are you starting to play around with different themes, and are you starting to notice that some things stick and some things don't?
So personally, and I'm going to say my subscribers and my followers, I don't think I have a large enough of a community to make a difference, because I'm seeing static responses in terms of how many views. The kind of plateaued. So what I'm experimenting with is hyperlinking other pieces of content. So my emails, hyperlinking it to Substack, and newsletters or blogs or entries where I'm engaging in different ecosystems and redirecting people to Substack. And that I'm starting to see, and you get to recognize where people are picking up your message. So not sure if you're following the chat, but Curtis has joined us, and Zakia is with us as well.
Ah, good. Now, unfortunately for us, the Substack data doesn't populate into Restream, so I apologize for that. But Zakia and Curtis, jump in. What we're actually doing today, very, very, very robust experiment. I am sending this file to Substack and YouTube. I'm deliberately not sending this file to LinkedIn. Deliberately not. And there's a reason for that, and that is because I keep getting restricted by LinkedIn, and I'm wondering whether I've passed my use by date there. So we are on Substack. It's working. It looks lovely. It's on the top of the feed. If you're listening live, we've got 4 listeners. It looks lovely. I'll send you a screenshot of this, and we've also got a backup for the replay on YouTube. So someone has to go first, and I specifically was inspired by this Americo, because you've been having some trouble getting Substack to stick. Can you tell us about that? Have you managed to get it to work?
So in terms of going live, I was under the impression, and I think this is more user error than anything else. I was under the impression that once you add Substack as a channel to your Restream Studio, that you can set it and forget it. Similarly to my other social channels. Now, for instance, LinkedIn requires you to re-authenticate yourself and log in every 30 days. But I've learned by accident, because after 2 failed attempts of trying to go live after scheduling an event in my Restream Studio, that I need to acquire a streaming key each time I need to go live. So it's important for those who are trying to stream from a desktop, because if you're doing it through mobile, you just hit go live and you're off to the races. But if you're scheduling something through a third-party platform, it is vital to obtain a streaming key prior to going live for Substack.
Yeah, it's a little bit of effort, but it's not that difficult. And it's just simply a matter of saying, okay, I'm going live again. I need another key again. For now, it'll get better. But what I love, and I'm sending you a screenshot of this, it's very, very, it's visually very pleasing on the top of the feed. And I'm very excited by the possibilities of what could happen here. We don't yet know. And give it a look. I'm going to riff on this in a minute. The actual engagement on LinkedIn is almost zero. Right? And because of that, I'm pushing really hard to get people to come. And because I'm pushing really hard to get people to come, LinkedIn thinks I'm a robot, when all I'm really doing is, can you please come? You said you'd come. Why didn't you come? Like 152 people have registered to come to next week's show. I know for sure that almost no one will come. And that's a bit debilitating. I put in all this effort. I sent out 1,000 invitations. 150 people said, yeah, we'll come. Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, we'll be there. And they never, ever do. Right? And so we do some backup follow-ups and say, hey, look, just remembering today, the show's on today if you want to come. I know you probably forgot, but here's the link. And, you send that out 10 times and then LinkedIn thinks you're a robot and closes you down. And I think, well, if you just made it bloody easier and people came, I wouldn't have to do this.
Well, rest assured, I've been doing some research on that. And if you've been monitoring the LinkedIn feed, you hear a lot of reference to the 360 Brew AI model. LinkedIn's new AI algorithm, or part of their new infrastructure, one of LinkedIn's biggest algorithm updates in history. And if you research 360 Brew, you're going to learn and be fascinated with how much LinkedIn is investing to make things easier for creators.
Oh, okay.
Clean up the riffraff and the garbage that we're seeing from those blokes who are trying to feed us with nonsense, AI generated nonsense, and some engagement pods. So they're trying to take back and reclaim their ecosystem. So their new AI engine that's running in the background is probably the most intelligence that they've had running in the back end, that it's now picking up your efforts, your honest efforts to bring people to the show and flagging it in some shape or form.
Yeah. Okay.
So
now that's handy to know, because if they're really trying and they've just made that as an honest error, because I have to push. Like I tell you, I have to push really, 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 really hard to get people to come to the show, and that's got to look like a bit of automation there, I guess.
Yeah, it's possible. But and I've written an article, and I'm going to drop it later this week on Thursday. But I'll share a little bit about this now, because it's so fitting. their new AI model can now read your content like a human, better than a human. It understands your voice. It understands and decides for you who should see your content. And I did the research from a live streaming lens. Like, I'm hearing all about this new 360 brew AI model. So what influence, what are the best practices, and what should we look out for, or what should we avoid in the live streaming community so that we don't step and trip over our feet and have this AI penalize us? So
it's, well, look, now that we know, this is good. Like, I learned, this is why I do these shows, because we learn so much from each other. And I'm really pleased to think that they're making an effort, and that what's happening is because we are sort of pushing ahead, we're sort of getting caught in the crossfire, but that's not their intention. Knowing that they're doing something about it gives me a little bit of hope that maybe they're not. I know they're not targeting me directly. I know that, but I've got no way of contacting them to say, well, what am I doing wrong? And I think I worked out today that because the engagement is very, very, very bad, like, there's no doubt it's very bad. I'm pushing harder than normal. Like, here on Substack, I just go, and we got a new member, Zakia. Now
Hi guys.
we are pushing hard. Look, I mean, I was banned again.
Oh,
And but we're talking about the possibility that maybe things are changing, and someone's got to do these shows and go first and work it out. And what I've done today, I'm very proud. I've sent the show to YouTube and to Substack, and I've completely bypassed LinkedIn. So that means if I want to, I don't even have to send my shows there anymore, and no one dies. Right? So I'm really researching this, because you can send 1,000 invitations to your shows per week over the course of the week. And I do that, and 152 people have said, yeah, I'll come. But you know what? They never do. They never come.
that's got to be frustrating.
And I'm thinking, well, why say yes? Just don't answer. I'd rather you not get my hopes up. Right? And then I contact them, and this is exactly what's happening. Hello, I noticed that you wanted to come to the show, and here's the link just in case you still want to come. It's on today in 2 hours from now. You said you wanted to come. I'm just sending you a gentle reminder. But, you send that 152 times, and then suddenly LinkedIn says, well, that must be a robot. Like, that must be a bot, because what human would sit on their computer and just send 152 messages, right? What human would do that? That's stupid. Right? So they must just assume that I'm a robot. But if they made it easier in the first place, I wouldn't have to do it. Right? They just don't make it easy. Since LinkedIn audio events went away, we are having enormous issues with engagement. Right? But now here we are. The show is going live to Substack. It looks lovely on my feed. Like, I'm so excited. It looks there it is at the top of my feed. It just looks so lovely. And as a backup, I'm sending it to YouTube for the replay, so everyone wins. What's your take on all of this, Zakia? I know it's new territory. Are you playing around with Substack and doing shows, and how are you doing it?
I've done one show. First off, I'm so glad that you're having this show tonight, because when you said that you had been banned again, I said, no way. So I'm glad that I can at least hear you on Substack. I've done one live stream on Substack. I've done one or two postings and a few notes. I just don't know what my audience is on Substack. So it's kind of hard. Like, you feel like you want to post a note, and it's like, well, who is this for? I'm not really sure. But I do really like the platform. And I'm wondering, for your if you only go live, and this is just the Substack, YouTube, and I'm mixing a couple of things in one conversation, but if you just stream to Substack and then allow it to post the recording to YouTube, if you would get more views on the YouTube. It seems
I
the
don't know
reason
if
I'm
that's
saying
possible.
that
I don't think that's
well, the
possible.
reason I'm saying that is I didn't know that Substack would automatically publish it, like, or you get an option once the live stream is done. And I typically get maybe less than 100 live viewers, but the replay viewers are typical, or if it's a recorded video, it's normally 3 to 4 times what my live audience would be. So I'm just wondering if you try that for the next one where you're only live on Substack and allow it to publish to YouTube as an uploaded video, if your numbers would be a little bit different.
Yeah. Well,
You can actually do both.
yeah.
So you're streaming live now. You will be given the option at the end of the show to push it to YouTube as a replay.
Yeah.
Allow it to do it, and then compare the two.
Yeah. But make sure you optimize it. Take your transcript that you're getting from Restream and update that title and description and use Substack. Well, it's Substack the one to watch. For who?
Yeah.
Like who's that? Who are those people you're talking to? Who should be watching it?
Yeah. Well, it's really fascinating that you've actually gone down that rabbit hole, because I'm actually doing the reverse. I'm very proud of this. I'm extremely proud of this discussion. I've decided that my replays are going to be part of my subscription model.
Mm-hmm.
So if you turn up to my show live, you can have the whole shebang, and you can come in and you can talk and you can watch everything, but you have to attend live. If you can't attend live, no worries. There is a replay for subscribers. I'm just going to play with that, because, I mean, I do 3 shows a week and I'm always doing them, and people go, well, mate, what do I get if I pay? Well, what do you get if you pay? I mean, it cost me $10 a day to heat the house, and it cost me $100 a month to pay for the internet. What you're doing is you're paying for me to keep going. But if that's not enough, I get it. You need some benefits. So what I've decided is that subscribers, I'm not turning subscribers on until I get to 100. I've got 58. So
Is that a random number?
I just picked it out of my head.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought, first of all, I want to prove I love stats. I love the chase. So if I can get 100 subscribers, then I think, okay, well, that's a thing. Not everyone can do that. The average person has 8 subscribers. You know that I did some research. The average person on Substack has 8 subscribers because no one knows how to milk it. So if I can milk it and get to 100 subscribers, say by Christmas, I think, well, that might be my trigger to say, look, I think there's something in this. I'll turn subscriptions on. But then I'm thinking, well, why would you pay $8 a month or $5 a month or $50 a year when you're not getting anything else? Why would you do that? So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to make them something. I'm going to give them something else. So I'm going to make my YouTube playlists private, and only subscribers will get access to the replay. Right? Because for me, what I want, what juices me up is I love live shows. I really don't give a shit who watches the replay. I honestly don't. If you want to watch the replay, that's great. It means nothing to me, because you're not here live talking to me now, because that's how I get juiced up, because I'm an extrovert. Right? If you watch the replay 3 months down the track and you get some value out of it, that is a wonderful feel-good factor, but doesn't help me at all. And I don't really get anything out of that. So, but a lot of people say to me, Keith, I can't come to the show, but I want to watch it. I do want to watch it. Can I watch the replay? Yeah, okay. Here's the link to the replay. And then they may watch it and they may not, but they never tell you if they do, and they never tell you that they liked it. And you have no idea who's watching it. It's just a bit of an invisible mess. I've always had this discussion with people. So what I've decided is that when I turn subscriptions on, if I get to 100, like I'm at 58 now after 6 weeks, not bad. So I will get to 100. But I'll turn it on, and what'll happen is subscribers at the bottom level, probably $5 a month, will get access to the replays. Now, that might be just enough to trigger people to subscribe. Might be just enough. If not, that's okay. I'll work out other goodies. And then they have this thing called the founders fee, or the people that like really want to support you. And that can be anything from $150 upwards. And I think maybe if I do that, it'll be $150 a month and once a year, $150 a year, and once a year you'll get a one-on-one call with me, because there's only one of me, and I'll just limit that to say 50 people once a week for 50 weeks. I'm just experimenting, and so I feel fresh and new again. But what I wanted to say, because I love stats, is I've decided for fun that I want to get to 10,000 views in 90 days. I just want to test myself to see if I can do it. And I'm very, very excited to say that today I cracked 8,000 in 60 days. Right. So I'm nearly there. 8,000 views, 8,007 views since the 2nd of September. Right? So someone's got to do this research. And that's what my shows are always going to be about. And so if you come live, you'll get the full shebang, no buzz. There's no limit. But if you want the replay because you're busy, then maybe that's where the clock starts ticking. I think. What do you think, Zakia? Is that fair? Do you think that's a fair model?
I do. That's what a lot of creators were doing on the Periscope days, but they didn't have the replay available on Periscope. They had to come into their community. So I think it was really successful for them. A lot of them got people to become paid members so that they could access those replays. The question is, what's going to be the value? Like, how are you going to entice them? Because I missed it, but what was that great gem that I have to subscribe because I want to make sure that I get them aside from supporting? What's that lesson or key takeaway they're going to get?
I think there's 2 points here. One is I have a bit of a moral objection to have to entice people. Like, have a bit of a moral objection. So a few friends of mine have said, mate, I come to your show every week. Why should I pay? I said, you come to my show every week. Why should I pay? What do I get extra? I said, well, what do you mean? What are you getting extra? I'm doing these shows for bloody free. That's what you're getting. You should be paying me.
And you show up every week, so you're definitely getting value.
Right. And so, I think, okay, well, maybe just the power of having, the process. But I know that people want goodies. Like, for instance, you can pay $10 a month to get rid of the ads on YouTube. That's what you're paying for. That's what you pay your $10 for. The YouTube's the same. You just don't have ads. That's what you're paying for. So it occurred to me that I should add goodies that make it worth paying. There's nothing different. Like, there's nothing different. I do the show and I love doing the show. And if you need an enticement to help me pay my bills, then I'll give you an enticement. But I mean, it's like Patreon or any of those formats. Like, I've got a mate of mine who plays this kick-ass metal in Norway. And he says, look, I could be pumping petrol or working in a cafe or fixing cars. I choose to play guitar all day. And because I'm playing guitar all day, I get these really kick-ass YouTube videos that have hundreds of thousands of views. But if no one pays me, I'm going to have to go and fix cars. So what you're doing is you're paying me a little bit of money so that I don't have to fix cars and I can write these kick-ass metal songs. So it's a bit of a two-way flow. Like, because I'm a creator first, I get a bit annoyed. Like, why should I have to give you something? I'm already giving everything of myself right now. Everything I already do is free. Why should I give you more? Like, it really pisses me off. But I understand the way that people work. If I'm getting it for free, why should I pay? I might stop there because I probably should take the fifth, right? Because I'm gonna say something I'll regret. But what I wanted on that note, just a very good point. I'm going to prove my point, and actually come at it from the other point of view. Someone said to me yesterday, "Oh, mate, do you pay for LinkedIn?" I said, "No way. There's no way I'm paying for LinkedIn. I mean, it's they should be paying me. It's such a boring site. I mean, I tolerate it, but no way I'm paying for it." And they says, "Why aren't you paying for it?" I said, "What?" And I wanted to actually have this discussion because this is not going to LinkedIn. I believe that LinkedIn is about as boring as free TV. It's all right. Something to watch on a Saturday night if there's nothing else to do, but I wouldn't pay for it. So I said, I treat LinkedIn like I treat free-to-air TV. If there's nothing else to do, I'll watch it, but don't ask me to pay for it. And maybe that's the reality we're in. People just want everything for free, and you've got to entice them to pay you. Let's have this. This is a very important discussion to have for creators, because as I said, it cost me $10 a day to heat the house. I've got to put food in my belly and petrol in the car, and it's $100 to pay my internet bill. That's just coming out of my savings. I don't mind doing it because I love doing it. But one day I'm just going to run out of money and I'll just stop doing it. And maybe that's not necessarily a desirable outcome. But what do you think, Zakira? Because you're a creator, you're a maker. Do you sometimes have that dichotomy in your brain saying, why should I give you extra? I'm already given everything. Have you ever had that discussion with yourself?
I don't think so. Maybe not consciously, probably subconsciously. I probably have, but I just think people are just so overloaded. There's so much content and so much to choose from. Why pay is the question. What am I getting extra? Right? I hate to say extra, but if I'm already able to see it for free, what is my stick to be able to pay for it? It doesn't necessarily make sense. If I do a quick search on YouTube, how to leverage Substack for business, I'm going to get 50 free videos. So what happened in another paid subscription for somebody who speaks about Substack am I going to get? Is it that ability to engage live? Like I see some like Don Lemons of the world, you have to be a paid subscriber to chat in their live, right? So do I want that interaction? Is it that personal interaction that I'm going to go after? Or is it just they dropped so many, I couldn't fill up my notebook fast enough that I have to go back and pay and watch the replay? I think I might have answered that a couple of ways. And I think, Keith, did we lose you?
Yeah, we lost
them there.
We got an hour. We got an hour out of it before I lost the internet. But I actually love what you're saying there. I love what you're saying because a few people have said, mate, what am I getting if I give you money? And as a creator, I'm offended by that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a creator, not a business person. I mean, so my creative brain says, what do you mean? I mean, you should be paying me. I'm doing things. We're going to ACDC on Sunday, right? ACDC. And, imagine if I went up to Angus Young and I says, oh, what am I going to get for my $100? Well, mate, if you're going to ask that question, don't come. There's 99,999 people standing in a line. If you got to ask me what you're getting for your $100, don't come.
Okay, so let's pick up on that. You're paying $100 to see and listen and be part of a concert in real time. Now take that example, and when someone asks you, what am I going to get? Use that same analogy, because we can all either download or buy CDs, if CDs are even still being sold. We can all consume or acquire AC/DC music in different formats.
Yeah.
So when someone says, what are you going to get when they pay you, you have to consider, if you're going live 2 or 3 times a week, that one of those times are exclusive live events for members only.
No, this is actually the point, and this is a very good discussion. So I'll pick this up on this. This is not my graphic, but I wanted to just indicate what if you're experimenting with what a subscription. This is why I love Substack so much, because it's based on a subscription model. So and we know that about 2% of people will subscribe, will pay, will upgrade. So this is why I'm doing the 100, because once I get to 100, 2 people might pay me $5 a month, right? And I get it. I've got to give them something for those $2 or those $5. So round figures, $50 a year, $5 a month, or a founding members, maybe a top 25, $250 a year. You can change all of these parameters yourself. You can make this any number you want. This is just one I found on the internet. It's not mine. So what I'm going to do for members who pay $5 a month, I think I'll make it $5 a month. They'll get access to the replays, and I'm going to start a chat. That'll be a members only chat that only members who have paid me $5 a month can take part in and ask questions of. Right? And I'll be, obviously giving them extra. And I don't know if there's a limit to the amount of people you can have as a group, but let's assume it's 100. So I'm gonna limit my $5 a month thing to 100 people, which means if that happens based on 2%, I would actually have to have 5,000 subscribers and 100 paid subscribers, just to say. So 100 of my subscribers will get the replay, a chat feature, and as you said, Americo, maybe once a month, a members only event. Now, it'd be very easy for me to tell who's a member and who isn't. So they're getting something extra. They're getting a members only event once a month. And the founding members, I think, will get a special founding members only event once a month, and once a year, a one-on-one session with me for 1 hour. Because when I was doing it, I used to charge $200 an hour, and that's the going rate. So I haven't worked this out yet, but the thing that I love about Substack is it's based on this model. Substack is free to use, and they only charge you 10% of what you make from them. If you just want to do it as a hobby, it will be a hobby forever. Right? So this is why the discussion about LinkedIn was so almost offensive to me. Like, LinkedIn is $60 a month for an Australian. That's the base grade product, $60. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if you know how to get it for cheaper than that. But $60 a month for LinkedIn Basic. It's just so dear. I mean, I'm not getting any value out of that. So I'll probably never pay LinkedIn. Never. I'm just not getting the value. But does that make sense, Americo? Have you thought of turning on your subscription? This could be something you could do for your members, for your community, I think, perhaps.
Yes, I'm dabbling with it. No, there's no doubt. I'm having conversations, and people are asking similar types of questions. Well, what am I going to get if I become a paid member? What am I going to get that I don't already get by attending your events?
Yeah, I think it's an important discussion, and even though it does make me angry, I think we have to understand that people are busy, and there's always a demand for our income, our cash. And why should I pay you when I can get it for free? What am I getting extra that makes it worth the $10 a month or whatever it is? But for instance, this community thing that you're teaching, this is worth $10 a month, right? Imagine once a month being able to get together in a room with other people and practicing this. Like, that's got to be worth $10 a month, I reckon. Like, I would pay $10 a month to hang out with other people who want to learn to do shows. Because, and let's play on this. I'm going to show a graphic on this. This is what we call the mastermind thinking. If you are in a room and everyone in that room wants to run their own show, you are one mind. This is actually essentially what you get by paying for a membership. When you join free shows and anyone can come and anyone does, and it's the middle of the night somewhere and it's 2 a.m. somewhere else, and people just turn up. Sometimes they're drunk or they're on a terrible line or they don't care. There's this wash, this mess of people thinking, oh, well, I'm just here. It's free. I don't care. But I'll just say what I want. And if they kick me out, they'll kick me out. And, you know, as a host, I'm always moderating these laggards. But if you have a room and everyone in that room wants to get better at running their own show, they've all got a goal. They've all got a mission. A couple of things happen. One is, first of all, you're hanging out with like-minded people. So you're going to meet people that can help you and that you can help. Two, they will learn things that you don't know, and you'll learn things that they don't know, and you'll have the joy of sharing. And money doesn't even come into it. I mean, $10 a month is such a no-brainer for that. But I think maybe we do need to join the dots for people. Like, this is one of the things I will do for paid subscribers. I'll have a once-a-month meeting just for them, even if it's only like 3 people. And we often talk about this. Does that make sense, Americo? I'm very excited about where you're going with this.
Absolutely. It's exactly, and I'm going to say this is speculating, but I see the desire, I see the appetite. People are reaching out. It's like, I love the energy, love the vibe, love what you're doing to help small creators. So it's not falling on deaf ears. Now, there are instances where you try to put pen to paper and tell people, well, this is what it's going to cost to be part of the community. Oh, you want me to pay for this now? Like, well, yes, that is the objective. This is a paid community. You wouldn't get this level of value if you had to pay for one-to-one support, which is also available, but at a higher cost.
Yeah.
Right? And we want to be mindful that, you know, some creators, some business owners who are starting up are frugal, but frugal for the right reasons. They're working with limited budgets. And I don't want people to include in the overthinking that this needs to be expensive, because it doesn't.
Yeah, well, as I said, I'm going to ACD. I mean, you get nothing for $200. I think the tickets were $600. I mean, there's going to be 100,000 people at this big stadium in the city on Sunday, and everyone's paying $600. Well, it's probably $300. $300 times 2, $600. Right, and we're standing there. We'll be about 100 meters away, and there we are. Angus Young, the dude. He's there. He's just right there. I'm there. I'm with him. And all it cost me was $300. We're so excited. We're staying in the city and we're going to make a night of it and go out for tea and have a few bourbons, and so we're going to make a night. That's what we're getting. That's what we're paying for. I could just listen to Spotify, which cost me $10 a month. And we did last Sunday. We can actually listen to Spotify all weekend for $10 and think, okay, well, I'm sort of hearing all of AC/DC's great songs, but I'm home. It's raining outside. I mean, we're just in the house. That's not very exciting, except that we're singing and we know the songs. But when we're there, our hero is on stage and he's like 100 meters away from me. And there he is. And I've never seen him play before, and he's my hero. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for that experience. Absolutely. So for me, and I think you've really got me thinking about this, Zakia, I don't think the replays are enough to pay for. I'm not going to make them free, but I don't think that's going to be the hook. I think the hook is going to be these one-on-one or these group community calls where people say, look, this is a chance for us to really hang out together. And I'm so into this, and I think that's worth $10 or $50 a year, or even $150 a year. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Robert. I know Robert has a membership site, and he has a lovely way of doing things. I'm going to send you the link to get into the call. We can have up to, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. We can have up to 8 people on stage live, and these are just free. But there's only one of me. If I did 2 or 3 shows a week and never ever charged anything ever, well, then I'm just going to starve. Because I just forget to charge people. Luckily, I've retired now and I've done all that. But imagine if you just get, I know mates of mine like this, I'm happy to play. In fact, we in the music industry pay to play. You might be horrified to know this, but there's this really cool event place in LA called the Whiskey A Go-Go. Right now, they have done such a great job of promoting themselves that people pay to play there. This is a true story. Like, I've got friends of mine who said, guess what? We're playing at the Whiskey A Go-Go tonight. And Whiskey A Go-Go was where Van Halen did their first gig, and the Doors and Metallica and Motorhead and all these bands that we've all heard of. They did their first gig at the Whiskey A Go-Go in LA. Right? Now, that's got such a great name that any band who wants to get started thinks, if I only paid $2,000, I could play at the Whiskey A Go-Go any night of the week, right? And all that means is I just have to suck 100 of my friends into paying $20, and then I've made my money back. Pay to play. Like, I've done these gigs. And the Whiskey A Go-Go charges, I think it's $2,000 a night, because it's got such a reputation that people will pay to play there. I played at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Like, that can go on my LinkedIn profile. Can go on a T-shirt, put it on my gravestone. Done nothing else.
It could if you're in Australia. if you're in Toronto and you play at the Whiskey A Go-Go, you're at a gentleman's club.
Oh wow! No, there is a Whiskey A Go-Go in Toronto, is there?
Yes, there's a Whiskey A Go-Go in Toronto, and it is a gentleman's club.
Oh no! I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. Let me backtrack. But we got a couple of people on stage. Curtis and Robert, if you want to come in, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What we're asking is, where we are now is the idea of a consumer or a subscription model. Do you have a subscription model? What do people get when they take part? This is what we call the one-to-many model. Like, I've done one-on-ones for 20 years, and they're brain sucking. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then by the end of the day, you're just a zombie. And you've talked to like 6 people. I prefer group calls now. I prefer this group vibe. What do you think, Zakia? I've gone all over the map, but have you thought of an idea of subscription model, and what would people get if they did do your subscription model? Or what do they get when you do? Because I think you already have one, don't you?
Yeah, I turned it on. I haven't completely thought it through. I wasn't waiting for a magic number. It was just a feature that was on. I think once we do hit 50 paid members, I think the live chat is a huge part of it. Being able to chat. Definitely the replays, and then also my AI playbooks that I'll be demonstrating on the live stream. So there's quite a bit of content behind what I'm doing on the live. So it'll give them access to those tools, templates, and things that they can use in their own business.
Yeah, I think it's important. I know the one-to-many model has been around for a long time. And I still know people that love one-on-ones, and I still know people that go into the city. Like, I mean, look, I don't know. It doesn't matter how much you pay me. I'm not going into the city. Like, I'm going to go to see AC/DC because I want to go, but there's no way in the world I'm going into the city to do coaching for one-on-one. I've done that for like 20 years. I'm not doing that anymore. Such a waste of time. Like, I spend an hour of my time on the train. I go to the city. I hire a room. Maybe for a few hours, I sit in a room with one person. Maybe that's enjoyable. And then I come home and I'm thinking, I saw 3 people today. Right? And it sucked up my whole life. I've done this. I've done this. So this idea of the community coaching calls and the community events, if we can get them to stick, it's unlimited potential. We can
And
have
I
up,
think, can
yeah,
I just
yeah,
add
jump in.
something to that? I think right now it's going to be so important for that community aspect. That's the human nature that AI cannot replicate. And so right now we are seeing what's known as the quote unquote AI slop that's out there where people are just pasting whatever chat GPT, Claude, or whatever gives it. But having that human interaction still is so much more valuable, and I think people will see it that way. And so I think it's actually adding another layer of value that is being lost because of so much AI driven content right now.
Yeah, that's the essence. That's the essence of what people are getting. And I think now that I want to have this discussion ongoing because I want people to be involved in this for a couple of reasons. And so I think the replays will just be a given, but not really much value. But the real value is when someone can talk to a real person and say, hey, maybe Keith made that video with AI and that took him 10 minutes and that's pretty funky, but I get to talk to Keith. Now, there's only one Keith. There's only one of me. And whether I obviously I have to decide how much I'm worth, but there's only one of me. I can do it for free, but I can also charge an amount because there's only one of them, right? There's only one Keith Keller from Melbourne, Australia. There's several Keith Kellers, 185, in fact, on LinkedIn, but there's only one of me. So depending on where I sit with that, I have to decide how much I'm worth. That's a discussion I have to have with myself. But there's only one of me, and I can do this all day for nothing, or I can do it for a fee, or I can not do it at all. And that's what people are getting. They're getting access to that person. Like imagine if Angus Young said, look, I'm going to teach you how to play the solo from Thunderstruck, which is, I think, in A. Wow. Now, if you don't have a guitar, you can use mine. I use a Gibson SG, and don't worry about it. It's pretty robust, but please don't drop it. And you go into this room, and Angus Young teaches you to play the solo from Thunderstruck on his guitar. Now, how much would you pay for that? I reckon people would pay $1,000 for that. I would
pay zero.
But
and that's the interesting dichotomy. You have to have the right audience. I don't know who that person is that you mentioned. Never.
You've heard of AC?
And I have no interest in playing a guitar. So you got to have the right people with the offer that you're making.
Yeah. So, well, do I need to back up? So AC/DC band started in Melbourne, 1973. Arguably the best band in the history of the world, certainly the best Australian band, and most bands in the world have heard of them and copied them. And a lot of other people's songs sound like them. This is a highly debatable topic. And Angus Young is the lead guitarist, and he's been the lead guitarist since 1973. Right. So, and their most famous song, Thunderstruck, is very famous. And if you wanted to play that song, you could learn it. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of guitar teachers could teach you that. But their Back in Black album, which was from 1980, sold 45 million copies. It's the second most highest selling album of all time. Ever. Right. Which is what all time means. So, if you were into that and you were into Angus Young or AC/DC and you wanted to learn that song, you wouldn't necessarily have to learn it from him. But imagine sitting in a room with your hero. That is a priceless experience if you're into it, and worthless if you're not. Someone could give you a voucher. Your Christmas present this year's IKEA is to sit in a room with Angus Young and learn the lead break from Thunderstruck. I mean, you'd give it away, wouldn't you? And this is why this discussion is so valid. I mean, there is only one of me, and I have to decide how much I'm worth. I have this problem every day. We all do. Some people don't have that problem, but I do. How much am I worth? How much is it worth to tap into my brain? Is there anything in there worth looking at? My wife would probably argue, no, not much. Come on, Keith. No, I don't know if I wouldn't pay any money to be sitting there with you talking, but other people might. So I think this is what this subscription model is all about. And it's why it's so different to LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn is based on sort of lead generation. I talk about what I do. You call me. I talk to you. You buy things. Maybe I sell things and I make money. It's based on lead generation. Whereas the subscription model is almost like a knowledge economy. I think that's actually right. It's the knowledge economy. You know something that I don't know, and I wouldn't mind learning it. Can you teach me? Yep. And how much is that worth? What do you think, America? I'm on a bit of a rant here, but I think we're really into a new zone. Like it's 2025, and I'm almost at the point, having been suspended twice in 2 weeks, I've given up on LinkedIn because it's bloody hard to get people to come to my shows. It's a very sort of corporate environment. It's very boring. It's extremely unexciting. Whereas here we have this brand new paradigm, a subscription model. Tell me what you're thinking of this, and how do you think LinkedIn and Substack differ? Because they're vastly different.
Well, yes, they are vastly different. And I'm going to once again suggest that we give this new AI engine some time. They've been using it probably behind the scenes for a year and just learning from all of us, because I think by default we explicitly gave consent, and for those who knew to remove consent, if you didn't remove your consent to have your content being part of the learning engine, then we participated in this. Now, I think they're trying to reinvigorate excitement back into LinkedIn. I think it's no secret what you're sharing, that the vibe is very white collar, very corporate, to some just dull and boring. And they're trying to bring in some level of excitement to meet and appease the masses, the generational masses. And earlier this year, they did that by introducing, video. They wanted people to bring video to LinkedIn, short form, 9:16. They wanted to replicate what the TikToks and what the Meta platforms were doing, and they were favoring and pushing out video content. So here they are trying to reinvent themselves. A lot of people are up in arms with how things are kind of settling. But let the dust settle. I think we will come out. Now, will it be utopic for everyone? Probably not. Will it be better than what we've been experiencing? I certainly think so. Because I'm still a firm believer, those who are selling vanity, we're going to see a lot less of those coaches selling vanity, because LinkedIn may not have an appetite for that unless you're buying vanity from LinkedIn directly.
Can you describe what you mean by selling vanity?
Selling, well, I refer to the coaches that are selling engagement. And, for some, it's the engagement pods. For some, it's, I see posts. I see less of them now. But coaches who are pushing out how to get more impressions, how to get more comments, how to get more engagement. And for most programs, and I don't want to broad brush all the coaches, because there are some really great coaches here selling great support. But there is also a lot of smoke and mirrors being sold. And that vanity, people are chasing that shiny hit of dopamine, those shiny trends that infuse your posts with comments, impressions, and that's what people were living off of.
And it's
And
a dopamine vibe, isn't it? It's a dopamine
it
sort of.
absolutely. And why let someone sell that level of vanity? You can now pay LinkedIn directly, and they will manage who they push and who you select,
Wow.
who you boost your posts to. So we are now in that economy where, similar to the TikToks and the metas, you can pay. It is marginally more expensive, $70 a week, and you can pick your geography, your demographic, your vertical, your business vertical. Who do you want to target? Your age group, and they will push it out for you to your ideal.
Yeah. And you think
Community.
that's all vanity? It doesn't have a business metric that you can measure, that it's not something you can see as being valid?
Well, it's today, what do impressions tell us? Impressions tell us that, however many thousands of people scrolled past our post for at least 1 second. Means zero.
But I do have a question about that, because isn't it just, instead of you paying a coach, you're now paying LinkedIn for that same vanity?
Yeah, believe me, I'm not adopting or condoning paying for vanity in any shape or form. But LinkedIn is trying to take back what they believe is theirs, and that's their ecosystem. And good kudos to them, right? They're a business. They're an enterprise, and they want to get in on the action that others are monetizing.
Yeah. And that's what many of them are doing. Like Google AI Studio, they watch people paying for all these tokens and credits for vibe coding, right? And they just did away with they watched what everyone was doing, what they were searching for, and then built it into their tool for free. So now they're looking at what apps are being built via vibe coding, and then they'll just put it out there. So I think that's the one slippery slope that we are missing with what's going on with AI. And even with what you're mentioning with LinkedIn and the vanity, so many small businesses were built because they saw a need that was not being filled by either platforms, software, technology, whatever it is. And what ends up happening is the larger places where we're building on other people's land take advantage of that and completely wipe out industries. I am not for the people who are selling vanity. I am not. But they obviously saw a need in the market, and people were saying that that's what the algorithms want. The more comments you get, the more likes you get, the further your reach will be, the more your brand will be built. And so they said, I have to do that to build my brand. And they decided to pay these coaches. LinkedIn got whiff of it. And now they're saying, well, no, pay us $70 a month. And now that business owner is out of business.
That's clever, isn't it? Clever. It's just clever. But what it doesn't respond to is this. I mean, as I said, we all have to decide how much we are worth. But there's only one of me. There's only one Angus Young. And we've just discovered that there's at least one person on the planet that's never heard of him and wouldn't pay to see him. I mean, I'm a bit astonished, Zakia, but there's at least one person in the world that's never heard of Angus Young.
I know of AC/DC. If you would have led with that instead of the person's name, I would have said, oh, yeah, I've heard of them. But no,
Yeah.
I still thank you for the image. I now know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Still wouldn't pay for it, though.
Wouldn't pay for it. And that's okay. Because there's some things I think, what are you doing there? I'm paying for that. You'd have to pay me to do it. Like you'd have to pay me to go to that sometimes. But there's only one Angus Young. And I'm guessing without any doubt, I don't know him. And if I did, I wouldn't mind doing this. But if Angus Young could teach me the solo from, say, You Shook Me All Night Long, which is possibly his best solo, I reckon if someone could sit in a room with Angus Young they'd pay $1,000 just to see him play that, because that's a unique experience. In fact, you may not know this, but in the music industry, there's a thing called the meet and greet. So tickets to see them sitting in a chair, and they're standing up on stage, $200. If you go behind the stage and shake his hand and get an autographed copy of their new CD, $1,000. What's the difference? You've got to meet him, shake his hand, look in his eyes, tell him how much you love him, and get him to sign your CD. We call them meet and greet. Now, that's clever. Someone has worked out that there's a market for meeting these people. Now, not everyone can do it. You can't have 100,000 people lining up to meet Angus Young, but you could do 10 a day maybe. And each of those people, 10 a day, $10,000. That's a nice night out. And just goes in the bank account, and off you go. And one particular band who does this very well, the lead guitarist actually does lessons before the show. Like, if your hero said, I'll teach you to play guitar like I do in the scales that I use, and that I'll teach you how to use the amp, and I'll tell you what I use, people would pay unlimited amounts of money for that. Because that is valuable to them, right? And I think we're now talking about the knowledge economy. Like, I'm not selling widgets. I'm not talking to you and telling you how to buy T-shirts at $8 a pop and then selling them for $20. And what I'm selling you is T-shirts. I'm selling you me or us. And I still have to decide how much I think I'm worth. I think that's my biggest challenge. But there's definitely only one of me, which many people would say is a good thing. But I think there's some value there.
Absolutely. And you touch on a great topic of conversation, and then I'm going to back up and support and continue what I was sharing around the whole vanity piece. LinkedIn is moving towards pushing out expertise over popularity, and I love that.
Yeah, it's expertise. So I've worked out, maybe it only took me a couple of years, but I've worked out that my job, my skill in the world is to go in there and nut it out and then come out again. Like, a lot of people are asking me, how does this Substack thing work? Well, I don't know yet, but I will know. And when I come out the other side and I've worked out how Substack works, then that'll be a skill worth teaching, a product probably worth buying. I don't know yet, but I worked out that's my skill. I love to go in and nut it out, try it, pull it apart, give it a name, give it a theory, come back out the other side and say, let's try this. And I think that's what my subscription models will be about. And there may be a couple of tiers. Like, I want to share a really good example. I think both of you have tried Go Brunch. Yeah, have you tried Go Brunch, Lakia?
Yes, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. So Richard, who's the owner of Go Brunch, he said, mate, have you ever thought of setting up a radio school? Because I've got to be honest, I just cannot comprehend how you can run these really long shows and you just never seem to run out of anything to talk about. And how did you learn that? And can you teach it? And I reckon people would pay for that. Right. So we did experiment with that for a while. And so I set up a room on Go Brunch called the globalsocialmediaradio.com. Right. And it was a room set up like a radio station. And you'd go into the foyer and you'd sit down, and there's a receptionist at the front, and they teach you, they take your name, and then they call the people and they go, can you go into Studio 5? Because in Studio 5, we've got 6 people sitting down, all wanting to be a radio announcer. And if that's the skill you want to learn, I could teach you that because I've done it. Now, it's a matter of deciding whether that's a skill that people want to know. I don't know how to make pizzas, but if someone knows how to make pizzas, they can teach you how to make pizzas. That's a skill worth paying for. or people teach you how to play guitar, or how to do photography, or fix your car, or mow the lawn, or cook. And these are all skills worth learning. And the thing that's very, very interesting about the current economy is that you can do that on YouTube for free if you have the patience to nut out where those videos are in no particular order and put up with the ads, or pay the $10 to get rid of the ads. But imagine if you had your own personal chef teaching you to cook pizzas. I'm not sure I'd pay for that, but people will. Yeah. So I think we're in the knowledge economy now. And this is what Substack is. It's this great situation where 50 million people have got a topic of 50 million now. 50 million people have a Substack account writing things about stuff. And there's something about everything in the world. And you find different people talking about different things. And some of which are not of interest to me, but some of which are very interesting to me. And then they become like little icons. And I think it's only fair that you give them $10 a month. But as we've discussed, we probably need something back from them. And we're still in the process of deciding what that is. I really want to pick up on this, Americo, because you've got a couple of irons in the fire. And I don't know if you know these stories, Zakia, but Americo is very, very keen to jump in the car and interview people all over Ontario. Right? People are reluctant to embrace that. But we've discussed the power of having conversations with real people. And how is that going, Americo? And why do you think there is a reluctance?
Well, my guess is there's a reluctance because no one else is doing it. There's nothing to compare it to. Perhaps the closest thing is a podcast. Second is the fact that people are probably questioning, all right, what am I going to encounter during or after the conversation? Is there a pitch coming? What's the hidden message? What's the saying? When something seems too good to be true, it probably is. So there's a little bit of precaution. Some would have their guard up. It's like, yeah, I don't know. There's nothing. It sounds really good. And for that reason, I'm out because it's too good to be true. And I'm doing this just to get the wheels going and make it part of my marketing. I'm offering this for free just to get a few under my belt, just so that people can get the feel and the vibe and feel the energy, and then become advocates and become part of my social proof. Here's what you get. Here's the outcome of having these conversations, whether they're live or whether they're recorded. And then there are those, and once again, pure speculation because I haven't done enough research to back it up. But then there are those, well, I can just do that myself. I can just pick up my mobile phone and go live or record myself. Why do I need someone to come in here to record? But that never gets done.
Yeah, because you don't. Because
you don't, right?
One of the things I wanted to pick up, and I've been meaning to tell you this, I don't know if you know Jim, but our friend Jim, who's very, 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 very big on live streaming, what he does, and this is a very good lead for you, America, he actually turns up to businesses with his phone. And he says, look, I'm here now. Do you mind if I just do a little piece on you? What are you doing? You sell pizzas. Okay. Do you want to just have a bit of a chat about how you make pizzas and I'll make a video? No charge. I'm just getting my mojo. Can we do that? I'm just walking past. I've got a following. Can I just come in and say, I'm making pizzas and here's me making a pizza. Guess what? This is a pretty funky place. It's not bad. The guy's a good bloke and they're open Saturday nights till 3 a.m. if you need a pizza on a Saturday night. And because it's so sort of in the moment and he's very congenial about it, it works. Because one of the things that people think, oh no, what do I need? What do I have to practice? Do I need a mic? Do I need to Do I need to do my hair? I mean, do I have to have a shave? Do I have to put a new shirt on? And he says, no, mate, you're doing it anyway. I mean, I'm walking past. Why don't you try this? Just go up to any random shop in the street and just say, hey, look, I'm making a video about local traders. Can you just tell me what you're doing and I'll make a video about it? And
So here's the thing with a lot of local shops. Great idea, great initiative, and it's still a little bit of trial and error because you can walk into a local shop and not encounter the owner, and you'll have a part-time employee of any age. We're not going to discriminate here, but they're going to tell you, well, I'm not the owner. I'm going to have to get my owner's permission. And it's like, I don't think that I can authorize that. So you do run that risk. Not every small business is run. It's run by an owner, but it's run by an owner behind the scenes or offsite. So you do run into that risk. So I love the idea. I'd like to orchestrate and plan it better, and maybe that's what's holding me back. I'm just putting too much thought. I'm overthinking myself by trying to curate this, where the best outcome might just be me showing up and say, hey, how about we do this?
Yeah, well, I'm very much, I do actually set aside time to do the sort of experiment. And I don't know if you know the Bitcoin story, the Bitcoin pizza story.
Yes.
But whenever it was, 2015, a guy walks into a pizza shop, and this is a very good analogy for what we're talking about. Oh, look, there's this thing called Bitcoin, right? And I'm going to give you 5 Bitcoins for a pizza. What do you think? And he went to a couple of them. Like, he didn't get it straight away. Well, look, I've never heard of that, but what can I lose? It's a Bitcoin. I've never heard of this. It's probably rubbish, but okay. I love your initiative. I love your initiative for this. And Bitcoin Pizza Day was 2008, 22nd of May, 2008, 2010. Sorry, and the guy said, "I'm going to give you 10,000 Bitcoins." At the time, they were worth 0.02 cents. So $20. 10,000 Bitcoins, right? And the guy, just imagine this happens to you in 2010. Someone says, I've never heard of this, Keith. I've never heard of this thing called Bitcoin. What are you doing? I mean, is this just monopoly money? No, I think it's going to take off. And they're currently worth 0.02 cents, but which is $20 for 10,000. $41 actually. So I'm just Googling it now. So anyway, this guy took a chance, and this is exactly what I'm talking about with taking a chance. Sometimes you have to have that sort of experimental nature. Right? Now, 10,000 Bitcoins in today's money is about $10 million, I think, because they're Bitcoin's about 100,000 at the moment. But I reckon most people, $161,691. One Bitcoin. And this guy got 10,000 of them for a pizza. But of course, this was 15 years ago when no one had heard of Bitcoin. And I bet you any money, 99.99% of pizza shop owners would have said no. Mate, I deal with money. I deal in money. A pizza is $20. Give me $20. Maybe 15 if you can't afford it, but real money. You can pay in credit if you want, but I'm not taking your rubbish. And this is exactly the same sort of discussion that we are always having. Hey, there's this new site called Substack. Oh, I've never heard of that. Well, there's this new site called YouTube. No, I never heard of that. There's this new band called AC/DC. Oh, I never heard of them. There's always something that people have never heard of. And of course, 99.9% of them go bad. But I love the idea, the fantasy in a way, of being on the wave of one that takes off. Like Zakia was in Periscope. Like she was there right there. Can you tell that story? How did you decide that Periscope was worth doing, and how did that feel right at the beginning? Did it feel really odd, and did people think you were silly, or did you right away know it made sense?
Right away, I knew it made sense, but I wasn't a business owner back then. I was just really curious about this whole live streaming thing, and the availability of it to the masses. So I would wake up and be looking at the pyramids in Egypt. I think I told you about meeting Chocolate Johnny on there from Australia, and it was just it all the light bulbs went off about being able to go direct to consumer and having that know, like, and trust factor because I watched it over and over and over again. Everybody that was on the platform was quote unquote figuring it out. There were some that truly had business models behind it, which I learned years later. But most people were brand new to the platform. My family, my friends, my coworkers are like, "What are you talking about? What are you doing?" But I just knew instinctively that live video was definitely going to be a
Felt it
wave.
in your
Like,
bones,
there
didn't you?
was no question.
You just felt it in
Yeah.
your bones, didn't
And there were other platforms too, like Meerkat was
you?
out
Meerkat, yeah,
before that,
yeah.
Blab. Yeah, there were so many smaller iterations of it, but Periscope had what we're talking about, that community aspect, um, and that figuring it out, and it didn't have to be perfect. That's why I think I'm so comfortable now because I know what it takes to make a mistake, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Or like, I don't remember during the pandemic, there was that famous reporter and his kid came through behind him in a walker, and it like made all kinds of news because he just froze on screen like, what am I going to do? We saw that happen time and time and time again on Periscope, and it just became a part of the ethos. So yeah, I did have a burning suspicion that it was going to take off. Not necessarily Periscope, but the medium of live streaming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Periscope was just the first iteration. Did you ever try it, America? Do you know what we're talking about there? It's a long
I
time.
know what you're talking about. I just got in uh, on the tail end as it crashed and crumbled. Whatever happened to that? Were they acquired by TikTok, or did they just
No,
fold and disappear into the sunlight?
Twitter.
Twitter bought them and then closed them.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter brought them and closed them down.
Can you imagine? They bought this functioning site and closed it down. Just closed it. Same as Vine. They same time period. They closed Vine down.
But and this is my conspiracy theory of it all. So you can take this part with a grain of salt. But I believe that those platforms were allowing too many creators to be successful without the larger corporations being able to dig their hands in the pot. And they had to close it down. That's my personal opinion of why those things
Vine,
happen.
Yeah, there's also here's another way of looking at it, and we see this through mergers and acquisitions in the large corporations. Sometimes it's cheaper to buy tech that your competitor already has than it is to build it yourself. And maybe there is infrastructure that Twitter said, you know what? We can buy this, use it on our back end, and then just spit them out, shut them down, and just use their tech on the back end.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag between when they bought it and when they closed it down, and it was pretty thumping for a time, and I was on it for a while. But it's a good point that some of us, we have this knowing. That's not the right word because it doesn't always work, but there's a feeling. There's a feeling. I think there's something in this. We don't know what we don't know, but we have a feeling. And I want to share this really quite amazing story. Gary V, a young kid at the time, said to his dad, who had a wine shop, this is the classic wine library story. Dad, look, I'm just pumping out the crates in the back and loading a truck all day, and that's fine. I mean, I'm only 18. I guess that's what you want me to do. But what about can I start a YouTube channel? And his dad said, well, what's YouTube? Oh, it's this thing on the internet where you do videos and you sort of talk about things and then you just put a little code and people buy it. He says, that is a stupid idea. No, that's a stupid idea. But, you are a pretty hard worker, so why don't you try it? And so he started this idea called Wine Library TV. He did 1,000 episodes in total. And he just got online and he said, okay, here's a bottle of wine. It's all right. And we've got a lot of them. So I reckon $100 a dozen, send it anywhere in America for free, and $10 to send it to Canada. And, but that's all. We're not sending it overseas. And $50 million in wine sales. $50 million in wine sales. And his dad says, oh, okay, good. I'll get you. This is working. And this is how Gary Vee became Gary Vee. Now how he charges whatever it is, $20,000 to do a speech. Because he had it in his brain as a young kid. I reckon this could work. Now, those numbers might not be right. Maybe he doesn't get 20,000. Maybe he didn't make 50,000 a year. But the point is that he had this idea and he ran with an idea that he had that took off. Right? And sometimes it takes us to do the idea first. Right? And this is Substack's been going since 2017, but it's only recently joined the realm of the sort of multi-streamers. Really, in fact, not everyone has this feature even now. Do you guys have it? Have you done it? Have you done one, Zakia? Can you do a live stream yet?
Yeah. I figured that out on Amalia's call, and then I connected it to Restream to stream to both LinkedIn and Substack and Facebook.
Ah, brilliant. Okay, so and you're able to do it now too, aren't you? America.
Yes, I can now do it. I just have to remember to acquire the new streaming key each time I do it.
Yeah, but it's new. It's brand new. Not everyone can do it. So someone's got to go first. Someone's got to work it out. Someone's got to have a go at it. And then suddenly people go, hey, that's easy. I mean, imagine if someone had to come to you in 2004 and said, I'm going to start this little project called YouTube. You on the tube. You can take videos on your phone and upload them to the internet and you'll be able to send them to your friends. Like, okay, YouTube. It's a novel idea. I'm not sure I can see the point of that, but if you want to do it, do it. And then imagine what you would have said. It's hard to know because we know what it is now, but imagine if in 2004 someone had to come to you with that idea. I mean, would you have been excited about it? Probably not. And, you might have let it go if they needed some finance. A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine from the career counseling industry, said in 1997, I love these discussions because some people have vision and some people don't. A mate of his came to him and said, look, I'm going to start an online internet-based job site. 1997. I'm going to call it seek.com. Seek and you shall find. Right? Now, I haven't got $1 billion, but I need $10,000 from 10 people. And this is going to go off. And would you like to be one of those 10 people? $10,000, 10,000 people. 1997. That would have been a lot of money then. He said no. But you would have. I mean, I would have said no. But have you heard of seek.com? Is that a name you've heard of there? Or you'd have probably Monster or something else there. But seek.com, I think, makes something like $2 billion a year. I don't know for sure. I'll Google it in a minute. Have you heard this story, America? Have you got a similar? Do you have a similar online job site there?
Well, we've had Workopolis, we've had Monster, and so a few others, but I seldomly hear about them anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So the premise pretty solid, makes a lot of sense, even if you weren't going to invest. The site is going to be called seek.com. Seek and you shall find, because we were career counselors at that time. And, you know, mate, people read the paper on a Saturday morning, and that's how you look for jobs. It's 1997, Keith. No one's going to use the internet to look for jobs. Come on. Who are you? Where are you living? All right. No worries. I think it's going to work. So 10 people paid this guy $10,000, and I think they got 10%. That's probably what it would be. $10,000, 10 people, 10%. 10% of the proceeds of this Seek.com. Now, Seek.com now has 21.1 million monthly views. And I'm looking to see if I can find some annual income. I reckon it's making about $1 billion. In the year of 2025, I can't find a dollar figure, but that when it comes to money, we all have a little bit of an aversion to taking a risk. Some people can see the value, and I got to be honest, I wouldn't have taken that risk either. But it's got 29.1 million views a month, and I'm just looking for the stats. But what I'm saying here about Substack is, and this is why I'm saying it this way, I have a very good feeling that Substack will be one of these. It's not now. There's 50 million users. 1 million of them pay a subscription. That's an important number. So 2% of people that subscribe to someone's Substack account do subsequently upgrade. 2%. So if you get to 100 subscribers, you'll probably find that two of them will upgrade eventually over time. And like Periscope or like Bitcoin or like Seek.com, I have a feeling in my bones that this is going to be one of them. You know, and I had this discussion about Pinterest and Instagram. Someone said to me, I found this site. It's called Instagram. Instantly take a photo of yourself and put it on your internet. Well, and I said, I can't see that taken off. Me? What's the point of that? Taking a photo of yourself and putting it on the internet. Who's going to watch that? Who's going to do that? I said that. This is like 2008. What a stupid idea. I still think it's a stupid idea. Just that 3 billion people use it. I'm just not one of them. But I still think it's a stupid idea. But it's a very popular stupid idea. And I'm entitled to my opinion. I hate Instagram. But some 3 billion people love it. And imagine if you would have been one of those getting in early when Instagram first started. Did you have a similar experience on Instagram, Zakia? Did you see the point of it then? Did you grab it early, or did you miss that boat?
No, completely missed Instagram. And I still don't think I've grasped Instagram. But I
actively dislike it, but it's very popular.
Similar.
3 billion users.
Yeah.
Well, when it first came out, that along with the Facebook trend that took off before Instagram, but same vibe. It just felt awkward because everyone was just posting pictures. Hey, here's what I had for breakfast. Here's me at a Starbucks lineup. Here I am, waiting to catch the train. It's like,
yep.
Who cares?
Mirror selfie. But anyway, it's not really about us anymore. I didn't pick up on the Instagram vibe at all. I still don't like it myself, but I sort of saw the point of Seek.com, but I wouldn't have invested money in it. I wasn't asked. That was a long time ago. But to me, the idea of people going on the internet to look for jobs was so obvious to me that had I been in a position, I wasn't, but had I been in a position, I might have invested in it. I mean, it was such an obvious idea. Here we are getting this big bulky paper on a Saturday and going to a cafe and reading through all these ads and then ringing people and writing resumes and all this stuff. This is 1997, so it was very early. But I remember when I was working at a university. I was a career counselor. I said, look, I got this idea. I'm gonna do this show. It's going to be called Career Success Radio, and once a week for 1 hour, we're going to invite people to call in. This is 2008 with their questions, like what resumes do I wear? What do I wear? What should I buy? What do I say? How do I get a job? What do I do? It was very popular. It was listened to in 120 countries. People would ring in and go, look, we don't have anyone in this town like this. Can I ask a question about my interview tomorrow? Yep. What do you got? And we'd have a guest who was either a recruiter or a HR person or someone. And it was a very robustly successful show every week for 2 years. And when I went to my job in the university, the dean or the chancellor or whatever sat me down and says, mate, you are doing such a stupid thing. Can you just come into the shop more? You know, we need you to sit here with one person at a time and write resumes. We don't want you on the internet talking to people. This is 2008. I said, well, you know what? I'm not doing that. I think I'm onto something here, and I think this is where it's going, and I'm going to do an internet radio show about careers. And there's 1 million people that can come in and sit in a room with people. There's millions of people in Melbourne, 5 million people. Just get someone else to do it. And we had a big argument, really big argument. And I was part of the Career Development Association. I got a lot of bullshit about this. And sometimes people just don't see it. And I think, I'm happy to be proven wrong in 5 years' time, but I think we're at that point again with Substack. It's free to use, and people can subscribe to your material if they like it. You've got to do the material. You can't make it up. People are only subscribing if you're doing things. So you're not getting money for nothing. How do you think your subscription model might work, Zakia? Have you played that out? Have you thought of it?
Yeah, I'm having difficulty playing it out because I have an entire infrastructure off of Substack where I want people to go, right? For the courses, the consulting, the community, and all of that. So now it feels like I am being split and kind of giving a trinket of it over here, and I'm splitting the community. I need them in one place, whereas this will be very fragmented if I have a portion of people who will never install Substack. They don't want another app. They're done. I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube. Don't give me another app to go on. So they'll never subscribe to me on Substack. Whereas the Substack crowd, they're used to hitting that subscribe button. And so that's a business kind of decision that I have to come up with. But like I said, the value or the benefits or the pieces that I'm considering are the ability to live chat. Only subscribers would be able to do that once I get to 50 subscribers. The monthly coaching call, and then of course the replays or the in-depth deep dives or access to the tools. But I have to find a way to funnel them into the space that I own.
Yeah, do you remember the moment when Facebook overtook MySpace? Is that too early?
I was on MySpace. I know I didn't come over to Facebook until 2009. So I don't remember. I wasn't entrenched in it enough. I was too busy trying to build a career and climb the corporate ladder. I wasn't really paying attention to social media.
Well, do you remember that moment, America, when Facebook overtook MySpace?
I know of the moment. I don't remember the moment.
Yeah. So I was teaching at a uni, doing career counseling at a uni, and this young kid said, "Oh, there's this new app called Face Off." No, not Face Off, Keith. Facebook. It's called Facebook, right? And I jokingly said, "Oh well, there's this new app," because I think there was a movie called Face Off with Nicolas Cage. that had come out that year. And I said, oh, well, they made a movie about Face Off. No, Keith, Facebook. Young kid, maybe 18, doing work in their work experience. I said, oh, okay, there's this new thing called Facebook. All right, I've heard of that. I've got MySpace. Is it similar to MySpace? Yeah, it's like MySpace, but it's just not very popular yet. So I had a MySpace page, and I remember there was a day that we're all getting very excited, and we thought Facebook has officially overtaken MySpace as the number one social media product in the world. Right? I can't remember what date that was, 2008 maybe. And then MySpace has disappeared. Right? But this happens to me, especially with Chocolate Johnny, who's a very, very, very cool person. He at least once a year would say to me, mate, this one, Substack. He comes to me all the time with these new sites. And he does a lot more of this than me. And a lot of them I miss. And some of them just fizzle and they never bubble up. But he's usually pretty right. And I love it when something new comes up and you get a sense that this is going to be the new one. Because there's something coming up every day, right? Like there's new ones all the time. And in a way that the goal of these sites is to be the next one. So when when Chocolate Johnny would come with his spectacles and because he had a chocolate shop, and he said, oh, there's this thing called Snapchat. I said, Snapchat? And what does that mean? He says, oh, the kids love it. It's so good. And they've got these spectacles that you can sort of see in 3D. Okay, well, if that's your thing, do it. I mean, it sounds pretty stupid to me. But anyway, about 400 million people use it. And it's a thumping product. I think an Aussie runs it. So these products come all the time. And the hardest thing for us is to work out which one of them is going to stick. And I just have a feeling that Substack is going to stick based on these innumerable times that all of these sites have come and gone. Would you agree with that, Americo? Do you get a sense of this, or are you just running with the flow because we're sort of having fun with it? Do you sense there's something here?
Oh, there's definitely something here. And I think, some would say that we're late adopters already and may have missed the train. I don't think we're that late. We're probably in mid-stride, getting in at the right time. I'm sure it will evolve and become something different even a year from now. But definitely, I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah. Do you get that sense too, Zakia? Do you sense that we're onto something here and we're getting in early enough to embrace it?
Yeah, and I would agree with Americo on probably in that early majority.
Yeah.
Based on this chart here, definitely not early adopters, but definitely we're not late. But it has been embraced by quite a few people.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the fact that I'm an early majority. I don't mind this because Chocolate Johnny and mates of mine like that always berate me for being too late because for them, I'm late. But the majority of people still haven't even heard of it. I know this because I run these robust polls on LinkedIn, and I always have what's this as an option. Do you use Substack? Yes, I love it. 2, not really, but I'm hearing about it. 3, maybe one day. And 4, what's Substack? Right? And always about 20, 30% of people never heard of it. Too busy doing things. Never heard of it. And so I reckon we're in early majority. And with that in mind, what I did today, and I'm very proud of this, I completely bypassed LinkedIn because I've been restricted twice in 2 weeks. And that does piss me off. I can't rely on them anymore. So I'm going to run shows and see whether I can do shows without them. And we did. We did a really cool show. And what I've sent you some screenshots of this, but I want to just a bit of a decoder. On Substack itself, there's a really lovely visual when the show is live. It looks so good. We've got 3 people live in the audience today. Hello. Yell out if you want to come on stage. I don't know who you are, but I can see that there's 3 people on stage. But what it also does, which I didn't know, and this is something that looks so good, is that it actually tells you that you're live in your profile shot. So the profile shot goes red with a really cool live button. Looks so good. Like, it looks so sexy. So if someone goes to your profile, they can see that you're actually live right now. Now, my gut feeling is that that probably shows up somewhere on the feed. So as you're saying, Americo, as they do more of these types of features, people will start to embrace it more, and they'll see that, oh, Keith's live. I can see he's live. Let's go and see what he's doing. That used to happen on Periscope, didn't it? And also on Twitter Spaces. When you were live, your whole profile went sort of lit up, didn't it? Is that right, Zakia? Your profile lit up when you were live?
Yep, it did. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So anyway, I really wanted to run an experiment. Mariko, are you okay for Friday? Did you get a replacement for Friday, and have you worked out how to get your show to work?
I just, while we were talking here, I was multitasking, and I put out a reschedule announcement. So I can schedule something, and I know you volunteered, and I'll gladly accept you jumping in. But now we have flexibility. We can move this to Wednesday if you don't have the internet to yourself.
I'm just going to have a break. There's someone at the door. I'm going to play a song. I want you to just contemplate that live streaming is a thing, that Substack is a thing, and Substack is not LinkedIn, but I'm all in. Just give me a bit of a break. I gotta answer the door and do a few errands. So I'll just sort of play this like a song, like I'm on the radio.
It's not a new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Building my world with a newsletter grin. No viral spin, just truth within. Owning my list, like I'm born to win. Used to chase the algorithms game, scrolling through the noise just to stake my name. Endorsements, buzzwords, suit and tie claim, but I was losing touch, it all felt the same. Then I found a space where the words run deep, where the inbox opens and the real ones speak. No likes, no cloud, just a loyal crowd. Now I'm writing loud and I'm feeling proud. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Building my world with a newsletter grin. No viral spin, just truth within. Owning my list like I'm born to win. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Long form love, let the stories begin. No clickbait sin, just soul and skin. Substacks, where the real ones live in. They said bring your playbook, play the part, but I'm not here to network, I'm here for art. No humble brags or corporate flair, just me and my thoughts laid out there. I still show up where the suits all go, but I save my fire for the ones who know that depth is rare in a world so loud. But I found my voice and I found my crowd. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Crafting my lane with a fountain pen. No growth hacks, just discipline. I'm not a brand, I'm a citizen. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. No elevator pitch, just where I've been. From post to kin, we build and spin. Substacks, where the real ones live. Real ones live. They knows like sparks, not just for show. No chasing trends, just letting go. Discovery's fine, but loyalty's gold. I'm not for sale, I'm here to hold. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Writing my truth from deep within. No filters thin, no polished grin. Just real talk, let the trust begin. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in a rebel feed with a writer's spin. No algorithm can box me in. Substacks where the real ones live. Yeah, real ones live.
Wow. Sorry, mate. I had to do a few things, but what I'm really, really, really excited about, is that when Substack is live, and I'm sending you a screenshot for this, the actual profile shot lights up. Now, what that means to me is they're making a really active effort, because I don't think this happens on LinkedIn. They're making a really active effort to tell people that you're live. It looks great. Have you seen that? Can you see that there? That when we're live, it goes live, or
So on my mobile app, I see you on the banner up on top. It says how many people are listening and that you're live.
yeah. Oh, I love it. Now, I've been forced into a bit of a corner, and I'm proud to say that I'm coming back with the show. So today's show is live on Substack and YouTube. I could have sent it to LinkedIn. I know how to do it, but I decided not to. And I just think that that's an option that we now have. That the show looks great on Substack. I didn't get any more followers as a result, and we didn't have a lot of people come, but people will get used to it. I think people will get used to it, and we can have a bit more fun with it. What do you think you're going to talk about Friday now that the original guest has killed the session? You're going to have something else?
So we can continue with your suggestion, or we can jump into this whole new AI model, because I would have put out my article by then.
Yeah, tell us about debrief me on this. You've mentioned it. I hadn't really picked it up. Let's pick up on this. What is it? What is LinkedIn trying to do? They're trying to embrace it. They're aware that they probably haven't been doing a great job of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone's up in arms that their feed and their engagement has tanked, and I say with confidence that it's by design, because this new algorithm that they've embedded on the back end is now kind of spitting out all the garbage engagement. Now, they're not going to come out and say what it's doing and how it's scrubbing its data, but there are a lot of people and creators who are writing about, hey, here are all the great things that this new AI tool or is working in creators' favors on the back end. So I did some research earlier this afternoon and went to multiple sources and tried to scrape together, like, all right, let's look at this from a live streaming perspective, because we are talking about how no one shows up to our events. And there are different publications which I source and share the source on the article so that people can go out and first of all, those who wrote it get credit for sharing it, but helping those who want to go live do so in such a fashion where their efforts don't hamper or hinder their success. So, for instance, your behavior may no longer be condoned or may be getting flagged as automation because you're so proficient. The AI is now doing that for you. It's now encouraging you, hey, we want you to promote your event, but we want you to promote it through content. And it's right in the same wheelhouse that when I used to refer to a few months ago, the content trilogy. It is right in that wheelhouse. Here's how we want you to promote your event. And we will push out your content to the right audience, to the right community. There's also nuances that touch on, expertise versus vanity. Don't bring people to your show who are just going to flood your comments to try to awaken the algorithm. It doesn't work that way anymore.
Wow.
And I'm loving what I was reading. I was loving what I was learning, because that's exactly what I want to be able to provide. When someone asks me, do you have any examples of shows that you've done? I want to be able to say with confidence, go check out these 2 shows, Your Voice, Your Vision. And I want you to, those are a mix of on-camera and off-camera events with customized overlays and customized engagement. And then go take a look at the storytelling journey and go see what the vibe is. I want people to be able to go there and not see the same 3 people flooding my comments. So I've been inviting, like when I bring on a guest, for instance, Vivica, I reached out to all my Colorado connections. So bring everyone from Colorado.
Where she
covers the geography. Her ideal customer, women in tech. I sourced all my women in tech across the US, invited all of them. So now it's targeted to her niche. I now get to curate and build a show around her niche. The algorithm now will push out, and based on the description that I've written, the AI will try to align the show, the topic, the subject matter, and the expertise, and push it out to like.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
like,
right. Is that part of what you get normally, or is there an additional monthly fee for that?
No, it's part of the ecosystem now. That AI is built into the infrastructure, and we're going to start seeing less people with those memes, and we're going to start seeing polls that ask, what's your favorite junk food? Is it pizza? Is it chips? Is it hot dogs? Is it French fries? Those polls used to get inundated with engagement because it was just banter. But people used to use those as hacks. They want meaningful content to get pushed out to a meaningful community.
Oh,
so
I love this.
For those people who are using the polls or posting what was once a hack to get engagement and drive impressions, so that, because it's no secret, that's what some of the coaches were selling. You know what? Here are some hacks. We're going to coach you on and teach you how to post. And if you post within this framework, you're going to open up yourself and expose yourself to a wider audience. The AI now is going to do that all for you. If it picks up the vibe that you're just copying and pasting AI generated content, it's going to shut you down. It's not going to push it to anyone.
Well, I like what you're saying here. I like that you're taking a very positive approach to the new version of what LinkedIn's trying.
It's right in my wheelhouse, because I never bought into that vanity, never bought into trying to impress people. I just kept going on about my business, and when something performed poorly, well, it performed poorly. That's on me to come up with something that's better quality. I haven't experienced the same dip in my engagement and impressions because I remained myself, my authentic self. Those who are screaming the loudest are the ones who were riddled with hacks. And now those hacks are being swept from under them, and they're scrambling. It's like, well, this is outrageous. I'm not getting the reach and the engagement. Well, what reach were you getting anyway? It was all fictitious. It was all smoke and mirrors.
Okay, so this is definitely worth doing a show about, isn't it?
I totally would say it is.
Yeah. Because you've done, and you're going to have an article about that already ready.
I'll have an article go out earlier in the day, and we'll jump on it. And if you're open to doing it on Friday,
yeah,
or your Friday, my Thursday, then let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that because wifey's in the city that day, and I've got the time free, and your original guest had cancelled, so it's a matter of jumping on that and just massaging
Yeah,
it.
when I met with her, and I was, had the sales or the wind knocked out of my sails because I was so looking forward to it, and I'm glad that she said that she was looking forward to this event as well, and we'll reschedule it. Her father-in-law, she had mentioned, hey, my father-in-law, we have to plan a memorial soon. I don't know. I'm hoping it doesn't intersect and ruin our plans. And as luck would have it, or as misfortune would have it, it ended up being that way. The only flight that she can get, her and her husband can get to get to his father's memorial was on that Thursday. You can't you can't be upset at something like that.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. But
Life happens.
But we can turn it around, and this is a very good example. So when that article comes out, let me know, and we'll push it, and then I'll read it, and then we'll bounce. I'd never heard of this, so this is actually very poignant because I'm probably the recipient of some of those problems, and I wasn't really sure why. It annoyed me, and I just was so wrapped up in my annoyance that I just didn't think that there was something good coming out of this. So this will be good. This will be a very good way of researching what's happened and talking about it and teaching how to massage it.
Hey, just Google in advance. Google 360 brew.
Yeah. How did you hear about it?
It started coming across my feed. Like if you're connected with Mick or Linaire, they wrote about it. What's Mick's last name? I think you are connected with Mick.
Yeah, Mick and I am. So he was writing about it.
So a lot of creators now writing about it, and I felt, hey, here's an opportunity for us to write and share a little something for those who are in the live stream community. And if you're searching, perhaps do a more extensive search, 360 Brew AI LinkedIn model. You'll probably get even more data.
The 360 Brew system. Yeah.
Yes.
What I might do is we've been going 2.5 hours. Not bad for an experiment. This was called, is Substack the one to watch? We think it is, but we're also researching other things. The show is live on Substack, and the replay will be on YouTube. I'll organize that in a minute. And mate, send me some stuff, and I'll see you on your Thursday night, my Friday. But we'll probably chat in the back channel before then. So I'll see you around.
All right.
I'll just play a little funky sound and we'll go. You're listening to KKFM with Keith Keller and America DaCosta. We'll see you around.